basically like a shortish sort of yoga class, so that hopefully you can do this within sort of like about 30 minutes, just to invite something back in. There's bits that you can drop, bits that you don't necessarily need, and this whole session is going to be all about sort of protecting the shoulder, so just allowing your shoulder, wherever you've got any injuries, just to rest whilst you can still feel like you're maintaining your yoga practice for mind and body. Okay, so from here, just come to a mountain pose first of all at the front of your mat. Your hands can be down by your side. Just take a moment to just arrive. So, as always, really important to arrive in your practice, to arrive here in your body, with your breath. Focusing on that upward lift, that upward current of energy through the front of the body, and that downward energy, that groundedness through the back of the body. Soft knees, maybe even lifting the toes here so you have that awareness. Full breath in, full conscious breath out. Be planting the toes if you haven't already. So from here, just bring your hands to your hips. So if this is uncomfortable, just doing this movement here, you can bring your hands to your heart, okay? But maybe just to start, maybe your hands are okay on the hips. I want you to think of a sun salutation, okay? This upward lift, this openness through the chest. So we are going to move through a sun salutation, but obviously it's going to be modified. So we're going to breathe in, roll the shoulders back, just open up through the chest on this first one. Exhale, soften through the knees, navel draws back as you slowly come down to fold. If you're happy to here, you can release the arms, if they're okay. Forward fold here. Inhale, slowly rolling up, halfway lift. Exhale, folding back down, bringing the hands back to your hips. Inhale, pushing through the feet, coming all the way back up. Exhale to arrive. We're going to do 3 more of these, maybe even adding on with a little bit of a back bend here. So inhale, open up through the shoulders, through the chest, maybe gazing up. Exhale, navel draws back, soften through the knees, slowly folding down. Maybe releasing the hands, maybe keeping the hands at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Navel draws in. Exhale, folding back down. Inhale, rolling up, pushing through the feet. Strong through the legs, open up through the chest. Exhale to mountain. 1 more. Inhale, open up. Exhale to fold, softening through the knees. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. So you can really have that awareness through the feet. Still building strength in the legs. Exhale, moving with the breath. Anchor down through the feet. Inhale, rolling up through the spine. Open up through the chest. Exhale, mountain. Release the hands. Just take a moment here in mountain. Full breath. Bringing the hands to the heart. Okay, so keeping the hands at the heart. We're going to inhale, just peel the left foot off the ground. Send the left foot behind you, coming into a high lunge. We're going to maintain this with the hands at our heart center. So just find that foundation here first of all, so you can lengthen through the back of the leg. Head over heart, heart. Heart over pelvis. Inhale. Exhale here. Got a frog in my throat. Full breath. So we're going to start to move here. We're going to inhale, start to lengthen, lifting up, straightening through both legs. Navel draws back, full awareness. It's almost like everything's zipping up through the midline. Exhale, bend both knees. That back knee comes down towards the ground. Upper body is still upright, okay? Knees not going to touch the ground. Inhale, straighten through. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale to lift. Last time. Exhale, lower down. Keep this position and then extend through that back leg and just start to lean forward slightly with the chest. Hands still remaining at the heart center. And then from here, diving into that strength in the legs, step the left foot up, inhale, straighten through the legs. So building strength. Exhale, right. Going on to the other side. Slowly peeling that right foot off the ground, inhale here. Exhale, send that right leg behind you. Coming into this high lunge first of all. So find your position here. Front leg is bent, back leg is straight. Find this foundation, settle in, navel draws back. So we could start to back bend here, but we want this awareness through the legs, through the body. Inhale, start to straighten, lifting up. Exhale, bending both knees. Right knee comes almost to the floor. And then we inhale, coming back up, straighten. Exhale to bend. Keep that going. This time, exhale, bending the knees, holding here just for a moment, and then straightening through that back leg, start to lean forward with the chest. Okay, so keeping the hands at the heart, strength through the legs, just notice how this is here, and then rocking forward, bringing the right foot to the ground. Inhale, roll those shoulders back. Exhale, release the hands down. Just shaking off the fingertips. You can even just start to rotate through the hands there. Just get a little bit of movement in the shoulders. A little bit of stretch. Just notice how this is. Okay, from here, hands come back to the heart center, lifting that left leg, stepping the left foot back behind you, and then bringing the left foot into a warrior two stance. So the legs are here, straighten through both legs, looking towards the side first of all. And then we're going to come into our Trikonasana, okay, our triangle pose. So from here, maybe bringing the hands to the hips. Inhale, bump the hips back. Exhale, just start to lean down towards the floor. Okay, so just imagine that it's the side of your body coming down. Maybe this is enough in Trikonasana, or perhaps, depending on your shoulder, which side, maybe you can bring the left hand down. You can use the right hand down, sorry. You can use this to rest on the leg. And again, depending on which side of the body that you have problems with the shoulder, it could be that this hand stays on the hip because actually moving this down hurts, and you can extend the left arm up. Okay, so you have variations here. This could be up, this could be down. Okay, you can have both hands on the hips. Wherever you are, just take a breath. Rolling that left hip forward and tucking that right hip under so the tailbone comes under, opening up through the chest. Inhale here. Exhale fully. Bend into that front knee, bring the hands to the hips, slowly rolling back up. Turn the right toes in, turning the left toes out, going to the other side. So again, open up through the chest. Bring your hips round to the side. Okay, so feel that stretch first of all. Both legs are straight. Inhale here, bump the hips back, and then start to lean down. Again, decide whether you're happy to have the hands down. Okay, maybe the other hand on the hip, or again, vice versa. You can always reach up. Okay, so I'm gonna just imagine that it's this side that's hurting. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that left hand here, that right hand up. You can keep the gaze towards that foot or out to the side, maybe up towards the hand. Tucking that tailbone under slightly. Full breath here. Inhale. Exhale, soften that front knee. Inhale, coming all the way back up, maybe bringing the hands back to the hips here. Turn the toes in on that left foot so the feet are parallel, and then I want you to turn the heels in and the toes out. Okay, so just coming to a goddess pose. Again, you can keep your hands on your hips, but I quite like to have the hands at my heart here. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, we're dropping down, so we're not leaning back. Tailbone comes down, knees start to bend, knees tracking over towards the toes, coming into our goddess pose. And you can just stay here. So we want to imagine that the chest is back, so moving the chest back slightly. Maybe you stay here. If you're, depending on the movement in your shoulders, maybe you can bring your hands up into cactus arms. If this is too much, just keep the hands at your chest. Inhale, lifting the heel on one leg, placing it back down. Inhale, lifting the heel on the other leg, placing it back down. Inhale, lifting the heels on both legs. Exhale, down. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend the knees, coming back to goddess. Inhale, lifting the heel on one, back down. The heel on the other, back down. Inhale, lifting both. Take a breath. Exhaling, inhaling. Exhale, release the heels. Inhale, straighten through both legs. Just take a moment here, take a breath. Turning the left toes now, so we're going to turn all the way towards the front of the mat. So the left toes turn all the way round, the right foot facing forward. Decide whether you want a bit more space here. We're coming into pyramid pose. So for some people like the feet facing in the same direction towards the front. For me, I like the toes just to shine off slightly off the mat. Just looking after my hips just a little bit here. So what we're going to do, come into this position, straighten through both legs. So we're not on a tightrope, making sure there is a little bit of space here. Inhale, you can either have the hands at your heart or on your hips. You're going to lead with your chest. Exhale, keeping the legs straight, hips starting to come back, folding at the waist, coming down. Maybe staying here, maybe hands on your heart, maybe folding over that leg. And if you're happy to here, you can bring the hands down to the floor, on the fingertips. So don't feel like, if you know these poses, that you have to keep the arms in. If your shoulders are okay, coming down here. So just listen to your body. Take a few breaths, folding over, stretching through. These forward folds are great for lengthening, toning the legs, but also toning and relaxing the mind. So really sink into the breath. Inhale, soft bend in that front leg. If your hand's on the floor, bring your hands up to your heart. You're then going to shift forward as you do, lifting that left leg behind you, coming into a warrior three variation. Toes turn down. If this is too much, you can bring the toes to the floor. Maybe you're here. Maybe lifting. Pinky toe starts to turn down. Navel draws in. Soften through that front leg. You can always have the hands on the hips here, even drawing the elbows back, depending what's working for you and your body, or maybe you're here. Looking after these shoulders. Taking a full breath here. Really notice how this feels. And then exhale, trust. Send that left foot down to the ground. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, soften, replant that left foot, and we're just literally going to switch the feet and come to the other side. So find your position here. Again, my toes slightly shining off the mat. Left foot forward. Inhale, straighten through both legs. So we have this awareness here. Hands either at the heart or at the waist. Inhale, open up through the chest. Exhale, both legs are straight. Start to fold over, forwards, over this left leg. Again, your hands are okay to drop down here. Maybe you have some blocks to rest your hands on. Maybe you can fold a bit deeper, bringing the hands down to the floor, the fingertips, maybe the palms, but looking after these shoulders. Releasing through the head. Taking a couple of breaths, finding what works for you. Bending into that front knee just a little bit, bringing the hands to the heart. So just lift up. And then you're going to transition. Inhale, lifting that back leg. Hands at the heart or on the hips. Toes diving down, coming to our warrior three variation. Again, the navel draws in, soften through that left knee. You don't have to have this left knee really bent, but just soften so you're not hyperextending that knee. Full breath. How do you feel? Trust. Lean in. Bending into that front knee, sending that right foot back behind you. Whoa. Inhale. Open up. Exhale. Soften, lifting up through the pelvis, straighten the legs just for you to turn the feet round. Heel, toe, the legs in. From here, feel free to shake off the legs. We're going to come to a balance and come into tree pose. So you have a choice. Okay, again, if you're having to hoik up the foot here, might not necessarily feel good in the shoulders. If it does, then feel free. You can also come to a variation where you just balance the foot quite low down and you're here, or hands on your hips. Another variation that I'm going to show you is that you just gently soften through the knees like you're coming to a seat, shift the weight, and then crossing the right foot over. So sometimes we call this a seated tree, okay? Sometimes it's called standing pigeon pose. So from here, just lifting up through the chest, flexing through that left leg, and then slowly bending into your seat. So what we're trying not to do, you can lean forward slightly, okay? This is a variation where you could then come into an arm balance, but perhaps just sit up a little bit taller here. Find a drishti, find a focus. We flex this leg that's crossed over through the foot just to protect the knee. Relax through the shoulders. Full breath. Navel draws in. Inhale, start to push up through that standing leg. Lifting that left knee out in front. Exhale, release. Feel free to just shake off the legs, circle the legs however you need to. Going on to the other side. So I like to pretend that I'm sort of sat in a chair first, sinking the hips down, then balancing here, then crossing over, finding that drishti, trying to level the hips, and quite often we'll shift round. So trying to level the hips whilst flexing through the feet, through that right foot now. So this side is definitely different to my other side, balancing. Finding this a lot harder, so find focus. Navel draws it. Always have the hands on the hips here. Feel free if you want to lean forward to get more of a stretch into that glute, then you can. One more breath. Inhale, slowly rising. Right knee comes forward, just balance. And then exhale, release. Shaking off the hands and the legs. So we're just going to come to a little variation here. So we're coming to eagle legs. We're not going to do the arms. Okay, just to look after the shoulders. So just shifting the weight over to the right foot. Bend into that right knee. Left leg lifts up, crosses over. Possibly you can wrap that foot around your shin. Hands come to your heart. Maybe you can sink down, tucking that tailbone under slightly, lifting up through the chest. Full awareness here. Sometimes it's nice to lift up out of this pose. I quite like to sink down. Everything going on. Balancing on that one leg. Roots are twisted. Take a full breath, relax through the shoulders. Exhale, release. Unravel the leg. Stand up nice and tall, shake off that right leg if you need to. Maybe both coming to the other side. So again, bending through, shifting the weight to the left foot, lifting that right, wrapping it over like you're sitting in a chair, crossing the legs, and then slowly seeing if you can wrap that foot around the calf. If not, it can just be here. Maybe you can wrap the foot around. Ooh, I need to refocus. Definitely struggling to balance on the left side today. What does that tell me? Find a drishti, maybe sinking down a little bit lower. Navel draws in. Inhale, start to lift up. And unravel the legs. Shake off the hands. Shake off the legs. Last thing before we come down to the ground. So bringing the hands to our heart. Coming on to our toes. Lifting up. Inhale, roll those shoulders back. Maybe even bring the hands to the hips, open up. Exhale. Slowly squatting down. Knees out in front, or you can take the knees wide. It's entirely up to you. So you could be here, full breath, tucking the tailbone under, balancing on the feet. It's entirely up to you. You can take 3 more breaths here. Inhale, pushing through the feet. Start to lift, and then as you do, bring the heels to the ground, folding forwards, release the hands down to the floor. Forward fold, stretch out through the back. Soften through the knees. Keep the hands on the hips or at your heart center. If it's too much, allowing the shoulders to drop down. Wherever you are, soften through those knees. Inhale, halfway lift, just looking out gently in front. Navel draws back to look after our lower backs. Exhale, folding back down, rooting down through the feet, bend the knees. Inhale, rolling up, tucking that tailbone under as we stand. Exhale, release. Okay, coming down onto the floor, making your way there. Feet out in front, so you guessed it. Just a little bit of a all-round session. So coming to boat pose. So again, holding onto the back of the legs. If this is too much, you can bring your hands to your heart and start to lean back and lift through the legs, okay? But maybe you're okay here to gently lift one and lift the other. If this is feeling too much in the hand, in the shoulders, then maybe just lowering the feet a little bit, hands to heart, and you will notice this awareness straight away. Perhaps you can start to straighten through the feet. Maybe the hands can come away, maybe you're here. Take one more breath. Exhale, release. Bending the knees, coming to a seat. Inhale, open up through your chest. Exhale, slowly coming down onto your back. Coming down onto your back, just take a moment here. Full breath. How does the body feel as you arrive? Even pushing the head gently into the ground, just roll those shoulders under. Feet coming to the floor. Maybe hands down by your hips, but again, you can bring your hands on your tummy. Okay, if you want to, we're going to come into bridge 5 times, and moving with the breath, tucking tailbone down and up, just so that we have this awareness through the lower back. Great place to start. Inhale, rolling through the spine, lifting up through. Exhale, rolling back down. And again, inhale. So sometimes we would come to wrap the shoulders round, which you can do, as long as that doesn't cause any pain in your shoulders. Sometimes it's a nice stretch. But maybe just keeping the hands on the hips and just moving with breath. 3 more, rolling through the spine. Last one, inhale, roll through your spine, lifting the hips, pause, take a breath. Exhale, lowering the hips down. Just bring the knees in towards your chest, give them a little bit of a squeeze, and then from here, maybe you can rock and roll. Okay, maybe that doesn't put too much pressure on the hips, on the shoulders, thinking about the hips, rocking and rolling, and come all the way up into a seat. From here, just bring the right foot in towards your thigh, coming into head to knee pose or half Paschimottanasana, so forward fold here. So don't feel like we have to lift here, okay? Sometimes this is too much in the shoulders, okay? This is a really big stretch. So we're going to keep the hands on the thigh, on this left thigh. We're going to flex through the left toes. Inhale, open up through the chest. Exhale, just slide your hands down, start to fold over. And depending on where your arms can reach or where it's comfortable, just arrive here. Inhaling and exhaling. Sending that breath, that love and awareness to the areas in your body that perhaps need it. Maybe in this case it's the shoulders or an injured shoulder. And then slowly rolling up. Keeping the legs where they are. Maybe this hand can come round, okay? If not, just keep the hand there and just twist through the waist. If you're happy to bring this arm back, just taking a gentle twist. And then coming back through centre. Switching right leg out, left foot in towards the thigh. Arrive, get situated, find that foundation. And then again, inhale, open up through the chest, rooting down. Exhale, start to just fold over this right leg. Going as far as comfortable. Using that breath to soften. Inhale, slowly rolling up. And again, maybe that right hand can come back. Too much in the shoulder, just keep the hand by your side and just use your waist to twist round towards the other side. Just taking a gentle stretch here. Navel draws back. Inviting that breath in to the waist, to the tummy, to the digestive system. Exhaling, coming back. Reaching both feet out now, so left and right. Feel free if you need to put something underneath the hips here, you can, or if you need to bend the knees, then please do. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, just slide the hands down your leg as you come into your fold. Reaching wherever you can, wherever's comfortable. You can take this as a more restorative resting pose by bending the knees a bit more, getting that stretch through the spine. Maybe starting to feel the stretch in the back of the legs by reaching them out long. It's entirely up to you. Full breath. Slowly rolling up. Bringing the soles of your feet to touch. Coming into cobbler's pose, maybe interlacing the hands and wrapping them around the feet. So you can actually get a good stretch for the shoulders here, but again, it depends on the injury, it depends on how the shoulders are feeling. But if you start to push into your hands and pull against your feet, you start to get the stretch all the way through the neck, all the way down the sides and into the shoulders. If that's too much, just simply hold here, sitting up nice and tall. Full stretch. Full breath here. Exhale, soften, take the feet out wide, taking a wide seat. Inhale, flexing through the feet, slowly walking the hands forward. Go as far as you can comfortably, feeling that stretch in the inner thighs and the groin. Try not to round through the back, so if that means you have to come up here, then do. But if you're able to come a little bit further forward, take that length first as you're folding, and then perhaps releasing the head. Relax through the head. Full breath. Inhale, slowly walking the hands back up. Bringing the feet in, one at a time. Making your way down onto your back. And here you can put a cushion underneath the lower back or a rolled up blanket. Just simply going to send the feet up towards the ceiling. Imagine that you're standing on the ceiling. You can have your knees softly bent, or you can start to straighten through. Okay, sometimes this is called candle pose. Okay, for children, I quite like to hold on to my legs and have a bit of a rock here. It feels really nice for my lower back. But then come to stillness. Maybe bring the hands down by your side. This can be done with the legs up the wall. It's a really nice way to do it. Take a couple of breaths here. You can do this with the knees bent over a chair or something just to rest here. Lots of ways, lots of modifications and variety. And then slowly bend the knees. Give the knees a little bit of a hug. Then release the feet to the floor. Feet as wide as the mat. Just rock the knees from side to side. Just getting a nice twist into the hips, the spine, all the way through. Just stretching through. Maybe sliding the feet away each time. The legs are getting longer. And then eventually coming to the full Shavasana pose, legs out long, maybe hands out to the side if that feels okay, the shoulders. If not, just bring the hands wherever they're comfortable. And just take a few moments here, it's really important just to pause, to reap the benefits of your practice. Taking a few conscious breaths here, some nice deep breathing. Using the exhales to release what we don't need. Breathing breath, love, energy and awareness into the areas that really need it. Perhaps where there's injury. And then just come back to your natural breath. Feel free to stay here a little longer if you have the time. You're ready to move on with your day, or have things that you need to do. Just start to get some movement, maybe hug the knees back into the chest. And then gently rolling over onto one side, making your way back up into a seat, crossing the legs, bringing the hands to the heart. Notice how you feel. Lots of work in the legs, opening up through the chest, building those foundations, and moving with the breath. That's what makes yoga so powerful. And you can simply just roll out your mat and sit cross-legged or in a comfortable position and just notice your breath. That is yoga too. Don't feel like it always has to be those poses that we become accustomed to, that we feel is the yoga practice. There's ways that we can adjust those poses. There's also all the other elements that make up yoga. It's always a practice. From me to you, thank you for choosing to share your time with me. Have an amazing rest of your day. Hands to the third eye. Namaste.